Hey ladies, today I want to talk about when they can't stop you, they recruit others. When you're resilient and talented and you're difficult to break, you are not easily broken. When people realize they can't control you, intimidate you, or undermine you directly, they stop confronting you one-on-one. So what they have to do naturally is recruit other people. And this is because your presence threatens their position, their identity, and their false sense of power. Because a lot of times the only reason why people even target exoticals, beautiful women, bright star women, is because they sense innate power in you. They sense bad bee energy. They sense somebody who they pretend to be, plain and simple. And so they have this fabricated power. It's fake. It's fraudulent. And when you walk in the room and you're thorough and you're real and nobody's seeing you, you know what I'm saying? When I say nobody's seeing you, that's like slang for basically like nobody can hold a candle to you. This is when you start to get these crazy people starting to act out because you have threatened their false sense of power, their fraudulent sense of power. So today we're going to be talking about people that gang stalk, mobbing, smear campaigns, flying monkeys, all of them, all of the things, okay? So what's really happening when others are being recruited? It's psychological and organizational behavior. So mobbing, triangulation, flying monkeys, group-based bullying is what I like to call it. It often happens when one person is threatened and can't overpower you alone. So they like to seek social reinforcement. They need reinforcements. Like, in the movies when they get on the walkie-talkie and they're like, call in the reinforcements. Like, they need backup, basically, girl. Like, in a nutshell, these people are calling for backup. When they can't get over on you, when they can't break you down, when they realize that you're actually not weak, like they are, they have to call in for backup. They need help. So they recruit people who are also insecure like them. So people who already had, some type of hate for you in their heart brewing around for no reason because they're just jealous. They recruit people who are dependent. So I knew people like this who were desperate to be in friend groups or desperate to be popular. So they would literally dishonor themselves and innocent people. This could be at school or in a workplace, just so that they can get in with the popular crowd. So they would do things that were not serving them. They would do things that went against their own well-being to be accepted. So these are dependent people that will do anything. These are another group of people who are easily recruited into these types of dynamics. And then people who are also eager for approval, they're easy to be recruited as well. So these people aren't recruited because they're strong like you. It's quite the opposite. So they're recruited because they're easy to influence. And this is something that kind of gets under my skin because I always looked at people like this as disgusting. Like, I'm disgusted by people who are so easily manipulated. It makes me so angry because it's like, why can't you have a mind of your own? This person can come to you with a lie about another person and you're not even going to take a second to critically think about what they're saying. You're not going to take a second to analyze who the messenger is, analyze why they feel this way, take a real good look at the person who they're talking badly about and put two and two together. Like, you're not even going to do the mental work, which takes 10 seconds. It doesn't take any time to put the pieces together when there's a jealous person talking about someone they're threatened by. But you're not even going to do that work to put the pieces together. You're just going to go with the narrative. You're just going to go with the flow. I can't respect people like that. People who are easily influenced, they get on my last goddamn nerve. I'm sorry. And this is their goal. Their goal is very simple, and it's to destabilize you. And they want to destabilize your environment. They want to make you uncomfortable. They want to see you squirm. That's literally all that they want to do. They're agents of Satan, okay? To put it plainly. So exoticals and beautiful women are the main targets of mobbing, gang stalking, monitoring spirits, smear campaigns, all of the above. And this behavior disproportionately targets beautiful women because women who are seen as exoticals, we stand out, right? We have a different phenotype. We have a different look. Immediately, that's going to attract eyes on you. And it's going to attract good eyes and bad eyes. And what's happening is you're triggering people's comparison without even trying. So if you're a walking trigger for comparison, please understand that there's going to be people who want your head everywhere you go. I'm talking about strangers in the nail salon, people in social settings, at school, in your church, at work. it does not stop. You literally don't have to do anything to these people but exist, and they're going to group up against you to take you down. So, ladies, here is why direct attacks stop working on women like us. Because women like us are strategic, and we see hostile women coming a mile away. I can smell hostility on a woman before she even speaks, because if I linger in her space for a good amount of time, I can sense whether or not she's threatened, if she's staring at me, if she's shooting glances at me, if she's trying to intimidate me or trying to provoke me. I can immediately tell if you're a hostile person within 10 minutes of me being in your space. So what happens is the shift usually happens after you've proven that you're resilient around these women. If they notice that you don't react emotionally, because a lot of them are trying to provoke you, if you don't react emotionally, if you don't fold under pressure, like you are just very cool and collected, okay? That's something that I've learned over time. I've always been like this pretty much my whole life, because I've noticed how people really, really desperately desire to get me out of my character. I've mastered not giving them anything. Like, I give people nothing, and it kills them even more. So this is something that they try to get out of you, and it fails, you know? And what kills them too is if you continue to succeed anyway, this is what makes them be like, all right, I pulled out all the stops, I tried everything I could, and I still can't get to them. All right, bet. Let me call in my reinforcements. So when the direct attacks don't work anymore, they have to switch their tactics. So they move from confrontation with you, which was one-on-one, to smear campaigns, excluding you in a group setting so you feel isolated. They start to do a lot of passive-aggressive stuff. And it's because the face-to-face, one-on-one beef that they tried to have with you didn't succeed. You were quite literally unfazed, and actually, they actually probably also picked up on the fact that you peeped what they're doing, and so now they're so mad and so embarrassed that what they were trying to do didn't work. You're still standing, you're still happy, you're still blessed, you're still beautiful. So now it's like, oh, who does she think she is? I wasn't able to defeat her, and she's on to me. I gotta go get some other people so that I can validate my hate for her more by getting other people to hate her too. It's sick. So here's the antidote. The antidote is how you actually win against these people. It's not about being hypervigilant. That is draining. That is depleting. I have lived that life. I've lived the life of trying to be hypervigilant, trying to be one step ahead of people all the time, and trying to get one up on these people, on all my haters all the time. It drains you. It's going to deplete your energy. It's going to keep you up at night, which takes away from your beauty sleep, which takes away from your beauty. And we don't have time for that. Okay? You should not be obsessing how they obsess over you. And I know that's hard, because when people are sending you a lot of evil eye and daggers, it's hard for you to not think about what people are doing and obsess over it. And you do not need to try to prove yourself either. The antidote is be neutral, emotionally neutral. When you're in these people's spaces, you should be gray rocking them. Gray rocking is what you do to narcissists when you don't want them to get anything from the interaction they're having with you. So a lot of times narcissists will neg you. They'll try to use a lot of language to make you explain yourself. You know, they'll try to do these things to provoke you. And the gray rock method is when you literally just be like, okay, yeah, all right. Like, you answer back in a very plain, emotionless, neutral way that doesn't give them what they're looking for. It doesn't feed their ego. It doesn't fuel the fire. The antidote also is being excellent, looks maxing, being professionally excellent. So whatever you're after, keep killing it in that space. Your best revenge is always going to be your progression forward. I always talk about this, and I always say this to the people around me and to myself. Your success is your best revenge. You being alive and staying alive after the smear campaign, after the flying monkeys came for you without even doing their research on why they're coming for you. You know, after dealing with all of these spiritual and psychological attacks, you're still progressing. You're still striving for something. You're still ambitious. You're still hungry for life. You still have a light. That is what destroys these people ultimately. And it's what will motivate you to continue on despite what is trying to break you down. These people want you to stop what you're doing. So you think I'm going to give them the satisfaction of stopping? That was their goal. I'm going to go 10 times harder now, you know? You also need to practice strategic distance. So however you need to do it, if you need to get a private office at your job, like I've heard your Level Up Guru talk about this in her video recently, where she was saying she was having problems with people obsessing with her in the workplace, and she had to request getting a private office. And when she did, people were upset about it. I wonder why. Because people want access to you that they don't deserve, because they're narcissists and wicked, and they want to stir up drama, and you are entertainment for these people. So whatever you need to do, create distance with family. If you know that there's a family member that's going to be at this family function, you need to come around when they're leaving or come before they get there. You have to focus on yourself. The antidote is self-work and being selfish with your access. So that means being consistent, not arguing, maintaining your composure, and letting people expose themselves. Let people's chaos and confusion expose themselves, because insecure alliances always collapse on their own, ladies. Always. So drop down in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts down below on gang stalking and mobbing, smear campaigns, and flying monkeys. I'll also be leaving my email in the description box so you can share your stories with me there as well. Have a lovely day, ladies.